Had I not had somebody within my sphere who had the courage to share their story, I would not know my story.
I was in conversion therapy for 5 years of my early childhood, between the ages of 5 and 10. And I also grew up in the church, so in addition to having a therapist who I saw once a week, I was also forced to see the pastor regularly. And my father watched me read the Bible and watched me pray every night, pray away my sins. Those 5 years were really challenging.
When I told my mother that I was unsure if I liked women or not, because I had to phrase it very carefully to minimize the damage. So I said, I don't think that I like women. And she was devastated.
I don't think I would have ever come out if I hadn't been outed by my sister, to be honest. She was 9 or 10, I think, and I had been thinking about it for a while, myself, but I don't think I ever would have, because I was just so terrified, just to be what if it becomes a big thing, and what if I'm not perfect daughter anymore or whatever, and what if what if all these things, but then it just happened and it was just oh, okay.
I, for my whole life, had used she, her pronouns without questioning. Is that who I really am? One day, a filmmaking class with queer peers, we were, we do introductions with name and pronoun. I just hit this block where she, her wasn't working for me. I didn't feel like he, him really sat with me. But I didn't know about gender-neutral pronouns, they, them, until a really, really close mentor of mine used them in a conversation to describe, just introduce me. He saw me before I saw myself.
When I was born, I knew I was a girl, but the world didn't. I used to steal my mom's old dance recital costumes. I would whirl and twirl down the hallways. I feel like before I found the word transgender, before I came out, I felt different, because I didn't really know that there were people out there just like me, thriving and being themselves, and we all want to feel like we're not alone.
There hasn't ever been anything that I've endured or experienced that has ever made me stop or quit or give up. I've gotten damn near close. I've gotten to the edge, but I haven't ever given up.
My mother and I have a really close bond. I'll never forget my very first real date that I told her about that I was going on. She told me, make sure you split the bill, because don't let no man pay for you. And I was like, that's what I want to hear. Thank you, Mother.
If I would have grew up in a home that was accepting and educated and involved and interested in loving me for me, I would not have been homeless. I would not have aged out of the foster care into homelessness. I honestly think I would have been a performer, an artist, in a visual capacity. I really think if I was allowed to focus on what gives me joy and allowed to feel creative within my spirit, within my identity, the world would be my canvas. The world would be my canvas. And I would make something out of nothing still.
When Rebecca first came out, her dad's a pastor, and so we had to teach our entire congregation about what this meant. And there was a chance that if it didn't go well, he would lose his job. We lived in a home owned by the church, and so we would lose our home. We could lose all of the things. And yet, supporting her or not, there was no choice there. And so in doing that, we did a couple of things. We set some boundaries up to kind of create a bubble of support for her. We said, listen, you don't have to understand this transgender thing. You don't have to endorse it or support it or whatever it is, but you have to use her name and pronouns. And you can ask us all the questions you have, but you can't ask them in front of her. And what we saw in the impact of that was, maybe the loudest, most opinionated church member who was like, if there's gonna be a problem, it's gonna be this guy. The first Sunday that she showed up at church as herself, after church, he came up to my husband and said, I don't understand this whole transgender thing, but she used to hide behind your wife and refuse to say hi to me on a Sunday morning. And today, she ran up to me, twirled in her dress, and gave me a high five. What more is there to know?
I was asked earlier if my story was unique. No, I'm unique. My personality is unique. I'm a unique spirit. But my story is not unique. It's shared.